Akademiks can't ride no wave.
And Jason Whitlock. Here we go.
Looking at me and saying, Stephen A., you said you.
Oh, shit. What did Whitlock say? Here we go.
Question straight up, and you can do with it how you deem. What is it between you and Stephen A. Smith?
Look, and I got to be respectful. You work with Stephen A., and so
This has
I
nothing.
don't want to go.
Listen. Look, you said you go keep it in a buck.
A
Whitlock.
thousand.
Keep it 1,000 now. At the end of the day, I'm cordial with Stephen A. Smith just like I'm cordial with anybody else. It shouldn't come with a filter preface with it, and it's not to say that I'm about to sit up. Hey, I got you. No.
Space. He's admitted.
Hey, I got you. No. It's just a simple question.
Your words, your statement.
What is it up
Look,
with
man,
you and Stephen A?
I've done the homework on Stephen A. He's fraudulent. He's lying about his college basketball career. He's admitted he's lying about his college basketball career. If I sat in the media space for 20 years telling everybody I played for Big House Games and I got a full ride scholarship after knocking down 17 straight three-pointers in a scrimmage on a Sunday when they played a game on Saturday and they hosted a scrimmage on Sunday and I knocked down 17 straight three-pointers and they gave me a scholarship on the spot. Anybody familiar with HBCUs? Anybody familiar with Winston-Salem State and how little money Winston-Salem State has and had back then? They're not giving out. They won't address it. Winston State, what was Mama Roseboro that he.
All right, let's just get to Stephen A. Smith responding.
Contemplating doing, Jason, I haven't made a decision yet. But I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe account for you.
Okay, Stephen A.
Clearly, you're that desperate.
He
That's
popping
why
it
you
now.
Talk about me so much. Look at your numbers when you're talking about me, and look at your numbers when you don't. I keep you relevant.
Holy.
That's perhaps the worst insult of it all. Fat Bastard Lock.
Damn.
That's the title of the GoFundMe account. Fat Bastard Lock.
Oh, shit. Nah, Stephen A's popping it now. Yo, chat, I ain't gonna lie to you. You see this media game now? Yo, niggas is getting $100 million now. Like, yo, Charlamagne getting 100 M's. Joe up there with it. Like, yo, niggas is really shitting on niggas now. So it's like, yo, the media game is becoming a rap game. The people who got it and the people who don't. It's like, so in rap, like, it's probably 0.01% that really got it. Everybody else, they're pretending. It's the same thing with media. The niggas just took out his wallet and threw money on set.
That's for you, my brother.
Damn.
Contrary to what you're willing to tell Blaze Media, you used to do that a lot, didn't you? After all, that's the only chance you had of getting some.
Oh, you say he used to be throwing money in the club or something?
Needless to say, probably didn't work for you either.
Unbutton the blazer.
You need something. It's you. Cam Newton, next time, my brother, because you know I love you, you gonna interview somebody and bring me up? Don't just sit there and let them talk shit. Ask questions. Let them prove it. I'm a fraud? How? What
Damn. He getting that Cam as well?
facts do you have? I'm sitting there doing an interview with Glenn Bessinger the other day, and I talked about how growing up as a teenager, I saw a few people get murdered. Not like literally, oh, I mean, you hear gunshots, oh shit, you turn around and somebody's gone. I'm lying about that according to Jason Whitlock, like he was in Hollis, Queens, New York 40 plus years ago. How would he know? I'm a fraud, and do you believe this or that? I'm a fraud. How do you know? I didn't write my own book. How do you know? If you're going to bring me up and you're somebody that's in my inner circle and you talk to me, grill them. Don't just let them talk smack. For those of you who haven't heard the interview, I encourage you to go listen to it because Cam otherwise did a fantastic job. And I love that brother. And I'm going to show up on this show as well. I bet you he'll have better questions for me than he did for Jason Whitlock, Emmanuel Acho, Marcellus Wiley. I have my disagreements with y'all from time to time, but I appreciate y'all comments about me. Play that, please. Both of them, back to back, so people could know how supportive they were of me.
It sounds like a hater. Because, again, say what you will about Stephen A., and I've said a lot. Stephen A. is the best in the business. And it's not particularly close. So Jason Whitlock, to me, he might be right about Stephen A.'s basketball career. Who cares? Stephen A.'s not a pro basketball player.
Chat, let me grab a Red Bull real
He's dead
quick.
wrong about Stephen A. on TV.
I think this was a low ball move, for sure, from Whitlock, but it's on brand for him. And unfortunately, sometimes people just have a brand.
What's crazy is, like, he's such a good villain.
No, he's a great
He
villain.
is.
Like I said, I give him credit for that. Like
He's
he
such a good villain.
Those
he goes
interactions.
at, like, women and children.
Yeah.
Like, he does, like, the criminal thing you're not supposed to do. Any marginalized community, he's like, they can get it.
Yeah.
You're mentally handicapped, don't
Come
care.
on, man. Dropping the R word in 2026,
Dropping the
you
R
don't
word.
care. You don't
He
care
don't
about
care at all.
nothing,
He
bruh.
doesn't care.
Bro, he all right, bro.
And then
This is-
the worst part, though, he does it all under the guise of Christianity. That's the worst part. Like, he does it all under...
You talking about in context, a lot of people do that
Bro,
under the guise of Christianity.
Right? But, like,
Yeah.
it's the craziest thing.
Tell me if this thought bubble is going in your head. Okay. Even if it is a lie, that's why you hate him? Is because he's a fraud and he lied his way into this position? It's a lot of ways into it, but doesn't the end justify the means? I don't know. Some guys have lied themselves into great positions. Remember in the game when they were giving out all the jobs to the best players? Remember there was a day with Jerry Rice and Emmitt Smith, and they didn't do the best in media, but they gave them the job because they were the best at sports. Then we realized, nah, we don't need to give it to the best. We need to give it to just who can entertain, who can inform, right? So if Stephen A. didn't have the best sports career, does that really negate the fact that he is the best in sports media, the biggest in sports media? That's my thought bubble. Tell me if y'all had the same one.
I want to say thank you for that. I really mean it. Not just to Emmanuel Acho, but even to the curly-haired, light-skinned cat, don't know his name right now. They tried to call me out over the Zion Williamson thing. All I would ask in the future, fellas, is that when y'all talking about me, particularly with the Zion situation, could you do your homework? Because it's one thing to watch the league, it's another thing to cover it. What I said about Zion,
All right. Goddamn. Shit, my bad, chat. My dog was drinking like it was going on her style. All right, so my boy's
somewhere
shitting
along
on
the
him.
way,
Well, I gotta play the longer video. My boy's cooking now.
Stephen A., you said about my basketball career. Ladies and gentlemen, how many times have I said I tried?
Chat, when does he stand up? Oh, shit. Yo, this is how you know Stephen A. is shitting on niggas. He goes from sitting down to sitting on a desk.
All of this other stuff. Lesbians bloating. Questionable for somebody eating.
Nah, this nigga's
Acting
cooking.
like this is about the business. Horns. You see how demonic he looks? I bring that up because he always claims to be doing God's work. Does that look like somebody doing God's work? I haven't even gotten into the details of what he's doing to show you that it's antithetical to anything that he swears he is doing. Because when it comes to being a pathological liar, no one is worse than him to himself, more so than the other people and the rest of us. It's to himself.
Chat, I'll say this. What Jason Whitlock represents is the anti-establishment guy. I don't think people like him that much, but I think he does represent the anti-establishment guy. And Stephen A. Smith, because he's been trying to run for office and, you know, he's carrying Mickey Mouse on his back and people kind of start looking at him like, you know, it's a little bit sanitized. Now, he is the best. Don't get it twisted. He is the best. 100% he's the best. But the reason why Jason Whitlock, who I would have thought would have faded away because, you know, I don't necessarily think he's that, you know, entertained or whatever. He's been able to survive off of when there's things to be said that nobody wants to say, he says it. And that makes people rally around behind what he says. And now you have some relevance there.
But just for entertainment purposes, let me go back to what he was saying about my basketball career. Ladies and gentlemen, how many times have I said I tried? Somebody stood up there and said, he played in Winston-Salem. I said, I tried to. I tried to. I grew up poor. I can assure you my parents couldn't afford to pay for my college education. How did I graduate from Winston-Salem State? How did I go there without having to pay a dime? How'd that happen? It happened because I had a basketball scholarship. How did I get the basketball scholarship? Oh, I showed up for a workout. Well, you ever heard of the name Harold Funny Kit?
Okay. So he's breaking down the guy questioning his basketball career.
Individual with a connection.
I also think this is kind of stupid.
You say Stephen A.
Because Stephen A. Smith, bro, you signed a $100 million deal. Why do you have to defend your reputation or why you're there when you've, like, your work each and every day defends that? Why do you have to, like, bring up your past so much? And I think he's just doing a lot, but I don't think he needs to explain his basketball career before he got into broadcasting.
Lied about me, who has denigrated me, who even went as far as to call my pastor to try to interview my pastor about me. A pastor is a spiritual individual with a connection to individuals from his congregation, similar to what a priest is in the Catholic community, which means that the communication that happens with one another is between one another. Everybody knows that. That man says he's a man, he's doing God's work.
Oh, shit.
But he don't know that? Of course he knows that. He doesn't care. He doesn't care, ladies and gentlemen, because he never has. Have you seen the things religiously associated with Jason Whitlock? He's on Blaze Media. Maybe I should, because I do know a few people. Isn't Glenn Beck running Blaze Media? Okay. Maybe I should give him a call and remind him of the things that Jason Whitlock has done. Maybe I should point to some of the demonic, evil, vicious stuff that he has done to me, Chris Broussard, Scoop Jackson, Jamel Hill, Michael Smith. List goes on and on. Maybe I should tell the people that he works with how people at PTI, pardon the interruption, when he used to sub there, they looked at him and they said, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing these kind of things to people all the time? He said, you don't know? The money. money. But he shows up on Cam Newton's podcast and says he don't care about the money. Really? Sure about that? You want to hang your hat on that? Because I know otherwise. So I could sit here and go off all day, every day, about the disgusting speck of a human being that he is, the piece of shit that he is. But then I said, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I mad at him? Ladies and gentlemen, I dropped the ball. You know, I got up because I wanted to sit in front of the camera and I wanted to make sure he looked at a suit he never has a snowball's chance in wearing.
Oh, shit.
You're somebody that was critical of Cam Newton, along with numerous other people in the past. You were talking about how they dressed and how they looked and all of this other stuff.
They zooming out?
I'm sitting there thinking about the cruelty that you exercise when you talk about so many people. And for some reason, it escaped me what the real problem is until I saw you on Cam Newton. Before, I just thought you were evil, bro. I just thought you were evil. But you're jealous because you see the career that you say that I have that's fraudulent. No wonder you keep going back to shit from 40 years ago when I was playing basketball in high school and I tried to play in college. I've been the first to tell anybody, please, I couldn't shine these players' shoes. How does it feel to know, Jason, that you're still not better than me? You have never heard me say what I'm about to say about anybody in this business because I don't talk about my colleagues and my contemporaries that way. I want everybody to get theirs, but I have whipped your ass.
Damn.
You're a columnist, I'm a columnist. You're a New York Times bestseller? No, you're not, but I am. Television ratings on ESPN, we're approaching 14 consecutive years of being number one in the mornings. You don't have a job. Fox don't want you. ESPN don't want you. None of that networks, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, they don't want you. And what nobody has echoed or has come close to echoing other than Emmanuel Acho, who deserves all the credit in the world for bringing this up, is how you lean on Christianity. Why is that relevant? Because that's what the Blaze Network does, or the Blaze Media. It's conservative, leaning, religion and stuff like that. That's what they do. You're doing it because you're doing what's political.
Okay, so I think we kind of get the we get a gist of this. I'll kind of sum it up and kind of wrap it up by saying Stephen A., I don't think he's the smartest guy in every room. I think he's the most entertaining guy in every room. He knows how to get the best out of people. He did a show with Max Kellerman, who Max Kellerman is more of a analytical type of guy. Like, he still got the best out of him for as long as he could. Stephen A. Smith is popping that shit because, bar none, and I think we've learned it more than Skip. Because when Skip, sometimes I used to think that Skip was the guy. And Skip is the guy. I'm going to tell you why. But I'm going to tell you where his limitations come. Skip is a guy when you could build a guy off disagreeing with Skip because Skip gives the takes that people don't like. Skip will say, LeBron got no clutch gene. And if you have a really smart guy who could be funny and he's like, man, Skip, man, you wouldn't know what a clutch gene is even if you did a 23andMe. Like, you could say whatever, right? But make that person be funny and opposed to Skip, that guy becomes the star that depends on skip to hate. The problem is when you come to Stephen A., he's a one-man show. Stephen A. could hold down his radio show by himself. He could hold down this nighttime show by himself. He could hold down, really, First Take by himself. You could give him like just two pillows, and he'll hold it down. He's that guy. And that's where when people start like criticizing him and be like, oh, he doesn't deserve A, B, and C, it's like, are you serious? This guy has done it all. He's done it all.
Expedient so you could keep a job. How do we know this? Because how else would you watch me so much? Why do you know every little thing I do? Do you understand, Jason Whitlock, that you have done the equivalent of literally getting on your knees right in front of me? That's how desperate you sound, talking about me all the time. In this profession, I have whipped your ass.
Damn.
You can't touch me, bro. There's levels to this, and you ain't on it. I got up and walked around studio, not just to show off my suit and the relatively decent shape that I'm in, but because you never move from your seat, you don't want people to see you with your walrus-looking ass self. All you...
Nah, it's gotten personal.
Ladies and gentlemen, works a decent shape that I'm in, but because you never move from your seat, you don't want people to see you with your walrus-looking ass self. All you do is pop shit and talk about people. You stopped covering sports a long time ago. You just talk about people who cover it. Because it ensures that you don't have to go to games, you don't have to communicate with people, and you don't have to be confronted by the people that you mess with outside of this business. You tell them how you slide a tape recorder under Allen Iverson's hotel door when you try to listen to those conversations. You tell them that? You tell them how many of us in the industry that you went to bosses and tried to undermine us to prevent us from getting paid? You talk about how many careers you've tried to squash? No, you don't talk about that. You say, I'm doing God's work. I don't care what people think. It's about me and him. You must have been really messed up to be so fixated on God at this point in time in your life because you know the damage you tried to do to other people. Let me go through some of the headlines just for our edification. Is this God's work? How Jason...
Chat. Yeah, Stephen A. is one of those guys, man. Very talented. I like him and I support him for that. Don't be a hater. Stephen A. Smith, with all due respect, Disney's a bigger company, at least in my eyes, than iHeartMedia. Oh, let me make sure. iHeartMedia. What is it? Market cap. I think it's a publicly traded company. What? iHeartMedia company worth. Yeah. The market cap is not even $1 billion. That gotta be wrong though. Disney market cap. $173 billion. Now, granted, Walt Disney, there's a bunch of whatever. ESPN is owned by it. ESPN market cap. You won't be able to find that because it's underneath. That stock price is going to be underneath Disney. But the point what I'm trying to say is that when you look at somebody like Stephen A. Smith, he's working for a company. And by the way, I'm happy for my man Charlemagne getting his $200 million. But if we're doing litmus tests, if Charlemagne gets 200, Stephen A. Smith deserves 400. Stephen A. is that guy, bro. Stephen A. Smith, he's that guy. This 5-year, $100 million deal that he signed in 2025, oh my God. He's one of those guys, he's not going to hold out. He's not going to do too much to renegotiate. But whenever 2025 comes around, he's going to hit them over the head. Remember, we're seeing new contracts pop out from time to time. So Charlotte got 200. You think Stephen A. shouldn't be getting 300? So I think he's gonna be popping out with 300. And you could tell, man, he know he the shit because he be popping it and he's not like giving one fuck in the world what other people might think about it. My boys just start walking to the front of the thing. Let's see.
I've done the homework on.
Would tell you, he is a lowlife, the worst kind. It's who he is. And I'm not going to go off and engage in profanity-laced tirades and all that stuff. I said enough. But do you know the reason I came up here with y'all today? He lied about him, a professor of mine. Said she wasn't really a professor. Woman at home minding her business, retired, and he's trying to denigrate her career to get at me. He brought up my boy Spank, Gary Stevens. Fat Bastard Lock. That's the title of the GoFundMe account.
All right, chat. We're going to leave this there. Oh, my God. It's a lot of BS. All right. Let's see if we can react to a couple other things. By the way,